When a paddle company I've never heard of reaches out to me to review their paddle, sometimes I'm a little reluctant. Why? Well, it could be a terrible product, and then I have to review it and let them know about it. Fortunately, the Alpha Power Pro from Vanwin Sports doesn't fall into that category. So the Alpha Power Pro is an elongated paddle with a 5.5-inch handle. It's got a floating EPP core, and it has a T700 carbon fiber face infused with carborundum. This new technology that's been coming out with a lot of paddle manufacturers where instead of using peel ply, they're infusing some kind of texture into the carbon fiber. So before we go any farther, I just want to say that Vanwin did provide me this paddle to review. No money exchanged hands, and they have not seen this video before it was released. All these opinions are my own. So let's talk about how this paddle performs. From the baseline, drives and serves were hard and fast. I did have some drives and serves go out as I was adjusting to the paddle and to the amount of spin that the face generated. The face feels a little smoother than some other paddles that use peel ply, but I did notice that even over the course of the 2 to 3 weeks that I was playing with it consistently, I did not feel like the spin was reducing. So that's a good thing. When it comes to the power on those drives and those serves, I would put it kind of on the low end of the power category, but it's definitely not in the all court category. From the mid court, I did have trouble with some resets and drops, and I think that's due to the muted feel of this paddle. I didn't feel a lot of touch with this, and I think that's by design. Some people like a muted feel. They don't like to feel the ball like hitting the face of the paddle. And in this case, that makes it a little bit harder for me to hit my drives and to recognize when my resets were going to be too hard or too soft. So at the kitchen, this is where that muted feel really messed with my game. I prefer a paddle with more feedback than this one. You might not. But in my case, I did find that I was popping up my dinks at times because I just couldn't get the feedback from the paddle that I wanted. That's not to say that it didn't perform well. I didn't feel like the paddle was too poppy. It was just that I wasn't getting the feedback that I'm used to when I'm playing at the kitchen line. So as far as quality is concerned, I have no issues with the quality of the paddle at all. There's no buzzing. There's no cracking. I clanked paddles a couple of times, and it didn't really affect the play of the paddle or the feel of the paddle at all. The grip did feel a little thin, so I did put an over grip on it so that I had a little bit more cushion. You know me, I got soft hands. I like nice plush grips. It does come with a 1-year warranty, which is industry standard at this point. Other than the thin grip that came with it, no issues at all with the quality of the paddle. As far as appearance is concerned, I do like the orange. It comes standard with a white grip. I think this orange kind of highlights it a lot better. I'd like to see an option of a black grip or a matching orange grip that comes with it. And I think the graphics look fine as well. They don't super stand out, but in nice direct light, they do look nice on the paddle. So let's talk value. This paddle starts at about $130. And when you use my discount code GenXDinks, you'll get it for about $110. It's about 15% off. I think that's a good value for an elongated full foam paddle. Definitely puts it in the value market of around $99 to $120. So who is this paddle for? I think this paddle is for intermediate to advanced players. I'm around a 3.5 and I struggled adapting to this paddle, but I think 4.0 and up won't have as much trouble adapting to the paddle. If you like a muted feel in your paddle because you're trying to avoid tennis elbow or any kind of wrist strain, then a muted paddle like this certainly works. It does absorb the shock as well, but you got to keep in mind that you're not going to be able to have that feel and touch that you might expect from some other paddles. I think beginners should stay away from this paddle. It's got too much power, and I think that muted feel is going to affect a beginner's ability to develop technique when they're using a paddle like this. So overall, I give the Alpha Power from Vanwin a thumbs up. I think this is a great paddle for people who want to move from a control or an all court paddle to a power paddle because it's on the low end of the power spectrum. I'd like to see some other shapes like a hybrid and a standard shape with this build style because I think that would really change the characteristics of how this paddle plays. That's it for this review. I'll see you out on the pickleball courts.